10 years sober. What a celebration. My name is Patty, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm sharing my story with you, how life gave me a second chance. Some of us have hit rock bottom so many times that you feel like you've done 20 laps around your second chance. Let me take you back to the worst day of my life. The day I lost custody of my children. Alcohol had slowly made me into a monster. Something I never knew I had inside of me. My husband made the right decision to never allow my children to be exposed to it again. I lost what nerve I had left and drank every last drop of booze in the house. Then I stumbled into the liquor store and was kicked out immediately. I tried to protest outside until I slipped and fell, hitting my head hard on the curb. They later told me I had started to shake uncontrollably and foam at the mouth. I was sent to the hospital by myself. Not only had I cracked my head open, I also had alcohol poisoning. They were pumping blood into me while pumping alcohol out of me. It was a miracle I survived. When I left the hospital, I was in a daze. I had lost my job. I had lost my husband and children. I was about to lose my home, and to top it off, I owed the hospital almost $800,000 for almost dying. I had hit rock bottom and wouldn't get up again for a long time. Many years went by. I was living on the streets, begging for money to get my next bottle to numb the pain. When one day, I saw my own daughter and her daughter walk by. My daughter glanced at me briefly, but didn't even recognize me. Instead, she gave her daughter, my own grandchild, some money to put in my hand. That moment broke my heart into a million pieces. Not only because she didn't know my face anymore, but because somehow, without me, she and her daughter had grown up to be kind and compassionate human beings. And I had no part in it, as I had been too weak to fight for them. From that day onward, I decided I was no longer going to be a slave to my destructive addictions. I was sober for 5 years before my daughter gave me a second chance. My son has been much more cautious, but there he is today, sitting in the audience with my daughter. They're all here to support me. My 10 years of sobriety, despite the fact that I had abandoned them for more than 15 years. This is my second chance. And I promise on everything that is holy that I will savor it. I will make up for all those years I've lost. Thank you so much, and see you here again for my 15-year chip. Oof. I woke up feeling terrible. I hadn't felt like this in years. What happened? I went to bed really early last night and got more than 8 hours of sleep. Maybe it's just one of those days. I tried to stand up, but my legs were all really weak. When I looked down, I saw that they were completely swollen. It was tough to move at all, but I somehow made it downstairs. I managed a weak good morning to my daughter, who was making pancakes for Bella, my granddaughter. Bella said good morning, Nana, but kept eating. My daughter turned around and was completely in shock. Mom, what happened? She asked me. What do you mean, what happened? I'm just a little tired today, I answered. But, Mom, you look really... Go to the bathroom and look in the mirror. Indeed, I looked terrible. I had really dark circles around my eyes, and the whites of them are yellow. My skin was also tinted yellow, and I looked like I hadn't slept for days. All right, that's it. We had to take you to the hospital, my daughter said. We had been waiting for hours for the results. At last, we were called in, nervously awaiting the doctor. As he walked in, he said, just as I had suspected. You have HCV, or better known as hepatitis C. How? I was shocked. I've never ever done drugs. But I did live on the streets. Could I have caught it from sleeping on someone else's blanket? No, that's not how it works. It says here in your records that you were admitted once for a head injury and alcohol poisoning. Yes, I answered. Well, most likely you would have got it from the blood transfusion, which was very common in the US if you had done one before 1992. Do you have insurance? The doctor asks. No, I used to be an alcoholic and I haven't had a job in years. Well, that's going to be tough then, he said as he pulled up a chair. There are newly developed direct-acting antiviral drugs that can cure up to 95% of patients with hepatitis C, but it's expensive. The new hepatitis C drug costs $1,000 per pill, or $84,000 for a 3-month course of treatment. Its first combination pill costs $94,500. My jaw dropped. How could I ever find that kind of money? So I asked him, what happens if I don't treat it? Because you've had it for over 20 years? If untreated, you can at any time develop cirrhosis. And without treatment, cirrhosis can lead to liver cancer and liver failure, he answered. There was a silence in the room for a few seconds. I had to build up my courage to ask him, so how long do I have? It's not a question I can easily answer, he hesitated. Please, doctor, just give me your best guess, I begged. He looked at me and sighed. Then he said, well, I'd say if you make it 5 more years, it would be a miracle. There is no chance that I could ever get that kind of money. And there is no way I was going to take money from my children. They were struggling enough. The moment I had everything I ever dreamed of was going to be taken away from me because of my past mistakes. And then, in that moment, I realized something even worse. My family gave me a second chance, and all for nothing. All to have the mother and grandmother that they always wanted pass away in a short while. How could I do this to them? When we got home, things were normal, but nothing felt normal. Weeks went by and it stayed the same. We all knew my day was coming. One day I was sitting on a park bench and thinking about all that had happened in my life. I had in my hand a letter I wrote to my children to tell them everything I had learned in my life. And it all boils down to this. Dear Anna, if you are reading this letter, it's because I've already passed on. But don't despair, my dear child. I have cherished every waking moment I spent with you when you were a small, inquisitive girl, and as a beautiful, intelligent, and kind mother of your own. As I got to know you again and was able to see all the wonders that you and your child are, I can't help but to regret not being strong enough to fight my demons and losing the precious time we could have had together. You have enriched my life from the moment you were born until my last dying breath. Don't despair. Don't even be sad. Not many people, especially the ones I knew, had a second chance to be with your family. I am ready to let go with a heart full of love. No matter where I am, always know that I will watch over you and love you always. Your mom. We at Bumrungrad are sponsoring this video because we are concerned how soaring prices for medications, especially specialty medications in the US, are rapidly becoming a big issue. People and their families forgo life-saving treatments, are forced into financial hardships, and experience many related problems as a result of poor or no access to affordable medication, which they desperately need to treat their illness. At Bumrungrad International Hospital in Bangkok, Thailand, we can offer patients both brand name and generic medications at a fraction of US costs, with savings of up to 80%. Bumrungrad has earned the highest international accreditations and has top-notch facilities and board-certified medical professionals to take care of you. Please click the link in the description to find out more.